What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today for a new review of Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 3, Episode 4. And the episode was titled Kimpossible Endeavor. Not Endeavors, Endeavor. Now, before we get into this review, I need to shave my face. If you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and are not yet subscribed to the channel, then I need you guys to do me a big solid favor and stop taking me out on this date. And do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons on the channel, right? Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, shall we? All right, you guys, so this episode we pick up right where we left off with Miss Tiffany coming to Destiny's birthday party and, blowing the spot up, right? Now, if I was Destiny, I wouldn't have given, because Tiffany was obviously fishing and looking for a reaction from both Kimmy and from both Destiny. That's why she did the way she did. Kimmy didn't give her a response. She was like, oh, okay, well, that's going to be something that you might want to talk to Maurice about. And she was probably like, oh shit, like I just threw a bombshell at her. That monster was vaping in the bathroom and she didn't say anything about it. She didn't go off on me. Oh my God. Okay, let's flip it to Destiny. So Destiny, oh my God, you know what? I do remember. I did meet you once before. LeBuick, he was getting some kind of an award and I met him that night. And then, I saw you the next day at her house talking about Melody. I finally figured out who she was talking about. She was talking about Melody. I met you at her house. But then I said to you, oh, I loved what something about she loved what she had on last night. And, Destiny was like, that wasn't me. And then, Destiny got up. She was like, I just remembered where I saw her at. I wasn't trying to start anything, But it's her birthday. If she wants to go and cry in the bathroom, I'll let her do that. Tiffany, you knew what you were doing. Like I just said, she knew what she was doing. She came in there with a motive. Either she was going to get at Kimmy, it didn't work. She's like, okay, so it didn't work with Kimmy. Let's flip my target. Bam! I'm going to go for Destiny because she's not going to go for Mel because there's nothing that she can say to Mel, right? Now, Mel, I got a little bit of a side eye for you, right? I know that Destiny was okay with you inviting this woman, but when you said, because you asked her in the first episode we met Tiffany, you asked her, does she know any of the women? And she said, no. Now, when y'all started talking about LeBuick, that would have been your point to say, what? She just said that she got a divorce from the man, right? Whatever, you met him before, but did you meet her? And if she said, well, I thought I met her, are you about to say what I think you about to say? Well, no, no, don't go there. Like, you could have stopped that, but, Mel is low-key messy. Mel is messy. I'm going to keep it real with you. Mel is messy. But the thing with Mel is, why would you bring this woman? I mean, after she did the shit with Monster, you should have shut it down right then and there. But no, Mel didn't. And that's my problem with Mel, right? So Mel said, well, let's clear it up right here, right now. Do you know if LeBuick ever cheated on you? And, she was like, to my knowledge, no. Well, then let's just leave it at that. But the girl's already said what she said at this point. A little too late, Mel. A little too late, right? So then she says, well, how do y'all feel about, Kimmy and Destiny? How do y'all feel about, Tiffany? How do we feel about her, Mel? She's messy. Capital messy. Ask us how do they feel about her? Like, Tiffany is messy, and she came in there facilitating mess. Tiffany came in there on one. Like I said, Tiffany knew what she was doing. She had two targets. She initially had Kimmy in her sight, but when the monster situation didn't work out the way she had planned for it to work out, she had a backup plan, and that was Destiny. You ain't fooling me none, Ms. Tiffany. But let's move on. All right, you guys, next up, I think I'm gonna talk about Kimmy and Maurice. I have a lot of issues with this Kimmy and Maurice situation, right? So Kimmy, we see Kimmy and she's telling Maurice about Destiny's party, and she's telling him about the fact that Tiffany mentioned to her that Monster was vaping in the bathroom. And she asks him, is that true? He says, it is true. I'm like, well, damn, Maurice, that is kind of fucked up, right? So he's pissed off, and rightfully so, he should be pissed off. The fact that you are mentioning a child. That was my whole issue with Tiffany. Why would you mention a child, right? In front of these group of people. Now, granted, it's people that we know, right? Chris's wife is right on the side of Tiffany. It's Destiny, it's Kimmy, and it's Mel. So these are people who do, probably know each other, but it's not the right setting. If you want to have a conversation about Monster vaping, why not say, you know what, Kimmy, there's this. I don't know if you or Maurice know about this situation about something that happened with Monster. I would love to, potentially have a conversation with you and Maurice and Kiowa at some point about what happened if you guys don't know. Which, if he was vaping in the bathroom and he got caught, I'm pretty positive they called a parent. Because when I was in school, some of the shit that I did, they would call my mother for the smallest things. And she'd be like, y'all call me for this. Now, I never vaped because vaping wasn't around then, right? But I never did anything like smoking in the bathrooms or anything like that. But, certain things they just call your parents. They'd be like, oh, we're going to call your parent. I'm like, for what? Like, why? I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything that bad. But, whatever, right? So Kimmy tells Maurice that she didn't entertain him, which she didn't. And so here's the thing that got me. So you guys remember in last week's episode that Tiffany is talking about the fact that Lewis went to school with the boys, right? I guess like Maurice and I guess she said Maurice and she said, did she say Martell? I believe she said Martell, right? So he says he doesn't know them that well, right? And he like I said, he was rightfully so pissed off. He was like, why don't you talk about what, your past, like talk about you, talk about what your kids did. Don't bring up my kid, which I give him that, right? So Kimmy was like, well, Maurice, maybe you need to have a conversation with Monster about things that'll come down the pike. And Maurice's thing was, well, I didn't expect for that to come until like high school, right? She says, well, you should probably be ahead of it, which is true, right? You should be ahead of it because my mom had conversations with me. My mom actually started having conversations with me about, she tried it and I killed it. She tried to have conversation with me about sex when I was in, high school. She tried to have conversations. She had conversations with me about, drugs and alcohol. Actually, she started having conversations with me about, drugs in middle school. Which, you wouldn't think that a middle school kid would be doing that, but, when I was in school, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. There were a lot of people in my school that, in middle school, actually, even me, I'm not even gonna beat around the bush. We would steal from my aunts, like my cousins who smoke. We would take their Black and Milds or cigarettes, and we would smoke them. So yeah, it's not something that's uncommon. Like, I remember one year, my cousins and I, we went to one of the little convenience stores when they sold ginseng over the counter. They sold ginseng, and I don't even know if they still even sell ginseng in this day and age, but the man at the gas station sold me and my cousins the ginseng, and whoa, the effects of that ginseng on us. My aunt was like, what the hell? Because she knew we walked to the store. We would walk to the store to get candy and whatever. But she didn't know that she had no idea that we bought ginseng. And she was pissed off at us. And she went back up to the store. She was like, you sold these to my kids. You saw them. Look at them. You sold my kids this damn ginseng. She was pissed. She went up on him. And she went off on us we really didn't know what it was, but hey. So yeah, I agree with Kimmy. Have conversations with him because you just never know. And we didn't do anything. It wasn't anything like peer pressure with us. It was just us, we see the shit. You're like, oh, we want to try this. And we tried it. So definitely have the conversations with him, right? So Maurice got upset with Kimmy because Kimmy was telling him that his work and home life balance, they're out of whack, right? But he's like, but I have to do this, I have to do that. I get where Maurice is coming from, his business acumen, I get that, but what good is having, what good is having the business side when your home life is in shambles and you can have this big business for your kids, but what happens when your kids ain't really rocking with you, right? Because your kids tell you you're in therapy, and your kids are telling me you spend more time focused on the business and you didn't focus on me, right? So I think Maurice needs to listen to Kimmy. And then my issue, I have another issue when it comes to Maurice, right? So when it comes to Maurice and Kimmy with this situation with Monster, I saw people who say, oh, Kimmy does interject when it comes to, like in the first episode of the season, when he was on FaceTime with Kiowa, Monster, and himself, and Kimmy was like, Kimmy's here. People were like, she interjected, but I mean, she's his step parent, right? So she's a mother figure to him. She's in the house, so of course she should feel like she doesn't feel that her input is valuable, and that's I understand that because Maurice doesn't tell her everything. And Maurice said that he did talk to Monster about the vaping, and he told Kiowa, but it was supposed to be between them. That part, I guess, I don't know. Because I can see how Kimmy would feel like her input is not valuable because you don't tell me shit. So how can I feel any value to him? And when I do tell you stuff, you look at me like I'm crazy. You look at me like, oh, you didn't raise Jalen right, so why would I take advice from you, right? When Jalen turned out pretty well. But whatever. Not whatever. I feel Kimmy, and I empathize with Kimmy, right? Because I can imagine being married to somebody like Maurice, right? Because it's like, do you want me to be a part of Monster's life or not? So then we move on and we see Kimmy. So Kimmy and Jalen, so they are doing a walkthrough of this condo that he closed on. When I saw them white appliances, I like, ugh. She said, don't. And the minute Kimmy said, don't say ugh, I said ugh. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna be doing renovations on this, right? So she's talking to him about what needs to be done, and she's talking about basically the time that they're gonna need, and he's like, but he feels overworked over at Black, right? And she says, well, just tell Marcel what you need. He says, I've talked to Marcel and I've told Marcel what I need, and it just goes basically on deaf ears. So Kimmy says, well, a part of that issue is the percentage value that you have, right? And that's why you're there so much. My thing is, I could never work for the likes of Tisha or Marcel, because when Jalen said he talks to Tisha, she tells him something, but then he doesn't, and then Marcel comes and says, oh no, don't do it that way. And she says that's because they're not on the same page, which 100% is true. Tisha and Marcel are definitely not on the same page, and I would not work for two people that are not on the same page. You guys are married and you guys are running a business, but neither one of you are on the same page. Absolutely not, right? Couldn't work for him. So then Jalen tells Kimmy about the assistant GM, right? Now, I have a little bit of an issue with the assistant GM, and I'm going to explain to you guys why. I do think it's a good thing to bring someone in that has the experience and the knowledge to help Jalen, but why are they the assistant GM? Why not make them the GM and make Jalen the assistant GM, right? Because this person is coming in, so are you going to pay them the same amount that you're going to pay Jalen? Because if not, I would say fuck y'all, because that's a waste of my time. I'm an assistant GM. I'm training someone who has no experience, no knowledge of being a GM. Now, granted, it is someone he knows, but I'm still like, I'm not about to take a pay cut. You're going to pay me the same or more. It's either or. Or why not make them why not make them, like I said last week's episode review, why not have one of them be because I actually looked at their hours of operation. They are open between I forgot what time they open. I think it's like 9 or 10. So why not have an AM, a morning, a first shift GM, and a last shift GM, right? Or a weekend shift GM. Like, why not do that? But an assistant GM, I believe not. And I believe, what that person gets paid less, right? But whatever. So then we're going to move over. So we're going to wrap up with Kimmy and Maurice. Now, they talked about Kyle. So Kyle and Zave, I think that's her husband's name, they're coming there for Monster's graduation. Now, granted, I thought Kyle and her husband had already moved to Huntsville. I thought they had moved to Huntsville. But whatever, right? So they're flying in, and Kimmy and Maurice are meeting with them, right? So at a certain point, Maurice looked at his watch. He's like, I got a meeting that I got an attorney that I got to meet with. And Kimmy was like, excuse you. And he was like, but you can handle, what I want, and basically stuff like that. And Kimmy was like, I'm not speaking for you, Maurice. He said, don't think of it like that. Just, you know what I'm not doing that, Maurice. If I was Kimmy, I would have said, you know what, Maurice? You need to reschedule with them. See, this is my issue when it comes to Maurice, right? You want Kimmy to talk to Kyle and Zay for you, right? But you leave her out of conversations. Don't you see how that can be kind of contradictory, one-sided? It's okay for her to have a conversation with them, but then when it comes to the parenting aspect of Monster, you don't include her, right? But let me know what you guys think, and then we're going to move on. Damn, I didn't mean for that to go that long. That was 11 minutes. All right, you guys, next up, let's talk about Tisha and Marceau. So Marceau finally made it to Houston, right? We see that Tisha, she's, wear her sexy lingerie for him. She wants to be alone with Marceau. Marceau wants to discuss business, right? I'm like, oh, you're going to discuss business when your wife is dressed like that. I guess. I mean, I get it. They're in Houston for business, but really? I mean, I guess so, right? So they do have a conversation about Jalen, and, Tisha said, she talked to Jalen after she got there, and he says that he has Sadar and he has Maurice checking on him, right? See, this is once again that point where if you had maybe a co-GM, or like I said, well, actually even with GMs, see, in the jobs that I've worked at, it's only one general manager. Well, not necessarily, right? Not necessarily. Because when I worked for Hertz, there are multiple GMs, right? But you have GMs who like when I was at Hertz, you had my GM, he was just he had a select, amount of stores that he ran, right? And then there was another GM that ran another, I'm in a DFW, so there was one GM that ran the north side of Dallas, north part of Dallas, right? Then there was a GM that ran stuff over in the Arlington area. Then there was a GM for Fort Worth. Then there was a GM for my hometown in East Texas. So there's no co-GM or no nighttime, but I don't know how it works. Even in the restaurant game, you only have the one GM, right? Yeah, you have the one GM, then you have, I guess like you would have a GM, you might have an area manager, and then you might have like a location manager. Actually, that's exactly what it is, right? You have a general manager, an area manager who has, the area manager has a select area as well. And then you just have those location managers with assistant managers. So I wonder how this is gonna work, right? I don't know. I'm not gonna think too deeply into it. I'm not gonna pontificate, but yeah. But here's my thing. What is Maurice and Sadar gonna check in on, right? I don't understand that, but whatever, right? So then we see Tisha and Marceau. So they go out to dinner with their aunt and uncle, Uncle Mike and Aunt Linda. I believe that's what their names was, right? So Tisha's talking about, it's Marceau and I's 15th anniversary coming up, and I want Marceau to plan something with me. And he was like, well, he says he wants this year to be a celebration. When we got married in 2006, we didn't have anything, so let's just have love. The fuck? Okay, Marceau, cheap ass. I thought I was cheap. So then they talk, she's like, but, for our 20th anniversary, I hope that, we are renewing our vows in our home. So that was a sort of way to talk about the house. So Uncle Mike says that the house is definitely coming together. But, Marcel was like, well, I didn't like the email that you sent me. He was like, well, it wasn't nothing personal, no shit like that. So basically what's going on with the house is why I thought in the first episode they told us that the house is not coming together, one, because of the rain and not being able to place the foundation down, right? But then also, Marcel did mention that Tisha has been adding some stuff onto the house that's delaying it as well. But Uncle Mike says it's not just, the closet. It's also, taking the... Now here's a question. Here's the interesting thing, right? How big is the house? When they were talking about the garage, I was like, huh? The garage went from the basement to the second story. What kind of house y'all got? What kind of house should y'all have where a garage is in the basement and it's moving to the second story? Did anybody catch that? Because I was really listening to that, or let me know if I heard that wrong, but I don't think I did. The garage went from the basement. So was the garage gonna be underground? Was it gonna be like the Bat Cave? And then it went to the second story? How the fuck big is this house? What kind of house are y'all building? Okay, well, I'm gonna move on. So then we see them as they are getting ready to, do this whole party for chocolate in a bottle. So he's talking about they got celebs in the building. I'm like, what celeb do you got in the building? I know you're not considering Nephew Tommy a big celebrity. And the cast are ready to love. But go off, Marcel, right? So I will commend Marcel and Tisha, right? I think he said that, chocolate in a bottle is in 52 or 53 different countries. Congratulations to them. So we see the Ready to Love cast. They mixing and mingling. We see Stacy. We see KG. Actually, those are the only two people that I saw besides Kyra. And here's my thing. Here's my thing with Kyra, right? Marcel went up to speak to Kyra. Kyra didn't come up to him. But then Tisha come over there and grabbed him. She's like, the girl in the red dress, she was eyeing you. No, she really wasn't. I didn't see her eyeing him. Did y'all? Let me know, did you guys see Kyra eyeing Marcel? I didn't see it, but hey, if Tisha believes it, I'm not going to disagree, or agree. I can't disagree with her. I can't tell her what she saw or what she didn't see, but I personally didn't see it. But that's actually the episode, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about it. I did not mean for this review to be as long as it is. Like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else. Share the video, and until the next one, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands. Wear a mask or not, please do. I would highly suggest wearing a mask. If you don't wear one, just be blessed, be safe, social distance, and all that other shit, right? And that's going to wrap it up for me, you guys. I will see you guys again for Real Housewives of Potomac. I am going to get back to doing Power Book 2. I just got to watch the last 2 episodes. I haven't watched them, so I'm going to get back to it, you guys. And if you guys don't see that review today, which is Sunday when I'm recording this video, if you guys don't see it on Sunday, you guys will see it Monday. One of the two. I don't really know when, but you guys will definitely see it. So I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.